are we singing? 86. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us again for the next session. We're on part 3, The Children of the East. And again, thank you to Rudy and the family for being here. And Seth, thank you for playing piano for us. We're going to open with number 86, if you want to join us in your hymnals. And then Rudy will join up front here, and he will take it from here. And we're going to be playing a video during the session to start out with, and then we'll take it from there, okay? So I pray that God blesses us continually.
Afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out. Glad you could come out and listen a little bit more. Ian is from the UK. Years ago, I met Ian. I was asked by the North England Conference to come and talk to the pastors about reaching out to Muslims. So they flew me over there, and little did I know that Ian was in the congregation. He'd been looking at our website, and so that's where I got to know Ian. And while I was there in the UK, we got breaks like we do in Manchester, UK. And I was walking around there just to get some fresh air, and there's a lot of Muslims all over the place, and there's fountains, and things like that. And I'm walking along, and I'm kind of a foreigner in that area, and so I had this coat that said Phoenix on it. So one guy came up to me, and he said, "Hey, Phoenix," and he was panhandling. He was looking for £1 to go visit his grandmother. He said, that's what he told me. He said, "I want to go visit my grandmother, and the train trip costs £1." And so I looked at him. I said, he wore sunglasses. I could really tell. I said, "Man, the guy looks kind of scary." He says, "You can have £1." And I said, "Are you a Muslim?" And he said, "Yes." So I said, "Oh, assalamu alaikum." He says, "Who are you?" He says. I said, "I'm a Seventh-day Adventist." He says, "What's that?" I says, "We don't eat pork. We don't drink alcohol." "And what's in the back of your card?" I just rattled that off to him. It just flowed off my tongue. And the next words just stunned me, what he said. He says, "Well, maybe you can help me," he said. I said, "What's up?" His name was Muhammad. I said, "So what's up?" He says, "Well," he says, I'm in a predicament. My father died 5 years ago. And I went to the mosque, and nobody can help me there. And my friends, they all think I'm crazy," he said. "But my father died 5 years ago, and often when I'm trying to sleep at night, there's a presence in my room, and it's my father's voice talking to me." "What's with that?" he says. "What is that?" And I turned to him, I says, "You know what your Quran says?" He says, "No, I don't know what the Quran says." I said, "Your Quran says that when a man's asleep in the grave, you can't resurrect him. He's there till the resurrection. He's sleeping." I says, "Furthermore, that's what the Bible teaches, that the dead have nothing to do under the sun anymore." "Then who is talking to me?" he said. I said, "Look, those are the demons that are impersonating your father's voice perfectly." And I said, "You don't have to be afraid of that. You don't have to listen to it. Can I pray with you so you can have deliverance from this?" He says, "Yeah, please pray," he says. So right there in the plaza, we had prayer with this guy. I had prayer with him, asking God to deliver him from these demonic forces that were plaguing him at night, which were not his father at all. They were just there harassing him. And so, but what that did is it opened the door, and he took every bit of literature I had. He thanked me. And all of a sudden, he forgot about the £1. And so I reminded him, "You still want that £1? He goes, "Oh, maybe half £1, he says. I said, okay, whatever, But then, while we were doing these meetings, I was twice in the UK, and another time I was there meeting with, I think it's the conference from the South England Conference, and there was a Bible worker there. And, what I do is when I have these conferences, we go out, we take some time, we go out to the streets to go mingle with these Muslims. You've learned the greeting, assalamu alaikum, and so you start practicing. And this one Bible worker, she did not like Muslims. She told me afterwards, "I hated Muslims. I just didn't like them." And here she was, because she was part of the worker team in the conference, she had to go out and follow through with this, to get to know some Muslims. And so the very first person she meets on the street was a lady pushing a baby buggy. She's a Muslim. So she walks up to her, she says, "Assalamu alaikum," and the lady responds, "Wa alaikum assalam. Are you a Muslim?" She says, "I'm a Seventh-day Adventist." "What's that?" she says. "Well, I don't drink alcohol, I don't eat pork," and the whole scenario. She says, "Oh," she says, "could you come over to my house?" That's what she said. "Could you come over to my house?" So here this lady who doesn't like being with Muslims, she gets invited instantly to her house. So she says, "Okay, I'll come to your house." So she goes to her house, and they have a chit-chat together, ladies chit-chat, they talk about whatever women talk about. And the lady finally stands, and this Adventist lady, her name was Rose. And Rose homeschooled her children. because she didn't want them to go to the public schools to learn all the stuff that they learn in the public school. And Rose was telling her, some things about her life and that. And so when this Muslim lady heard that Rose homeschooled her children, she says, "Hey," she says, "do you think you could come to my house every Monday and help me, teach me how to homeschool my children?" And Rose said, "Yeah, I can do that." So week after week, you found Rose going to this Muslim lady's place, helping her to understand how to homeschool the children. And this is a lady who couldn't stand being with Muslims. So the second time, I'm in the UK, and this is quite a few months later. I look out in the audience, and there's Rose sitting out there. I said, "Rose, how's it going?" "Oh," she says, "you can't imagine." She says, "I'm still studying. I'm still with that lady every Monday. We get together for an hour, hour and a half. I'm still studying with her. We're good friends." And it all started with "Assalamu alaikum." I remember in the beginning, when I first got into this, I was a pastor in Dawson Creek in Fort St. John, and we mailed out, It Is Written mails out these cards. I mean, they didn't mail them out, they responded through their TV ads. And so this one lady responded, and I got the card, because I'm the pastor there, so I'm following up on this card. This lady wanted Bible studies. So I knock on the door in Dawson Creek on this Hope, and the lady opens the door, and I show her the card. I tell her who I was. "I'm here to respond your ad. You wanted to have Bible studies." She says, "Yeah." She says, "I don't even know why I sent that in." She says, "I'm an agnostic. But I'm married to a Muslim," she said. I said, "Oh, really?" "Yeah." And she pointed inside, there he is. And so he looked my way, and I'm in the doorway, and it's cold out. It's the wintertime, right? He looked my way, and I just said, "Assalamu alaikum." He didn't say a word. He came to the door, held out his hand, he took me by the hand, and he pulls me inside. He sits me down on his favorite chair. He goes in the kitchen, he comes out with a platter of food. He says, "Can we go and watch a movie together?" And I go, how did this just happen? And it's so difficult for Adventists to engage with Muslims that some people will tell you. And so he was an attorney, and he moved shortly thereafter. Then I'm visiting with, I'm in Dawson Creek, and I understand that there's a Muslim dentist. He was a hygienist. And so I thought, I'll just go pay him a visit. And so his name was Muhammad. And so I went in there, and Muhammad, I got an appointment made to clean my teeth, and he's there working on my mouth, and he's asking me questions, And I said, "Assalamu alaikum," and he says, "Oh, who are you?" I says, "I'm a Seventh-day Adventist." "Oh," he says, "let me tell you a story," he says. "I know all about Seventh-day Adventists. I grew up in Karachi, Pakistan. And I was born," he said, "in a Seventh-day Adventist hospital in Karachi, Pakistan. So I know about, so you're welcome with us," he says. And so I was visiting with Muhammad here, and we invited him out to have lunch with us. And so him and his family came out and had lunch with us. And it was a really nice meeting, And then a few weeks later, he found out we're vegan vegetarians, and a few weeks later, we get a call from Muhammad. He says, "Can you come see us for lunch?" I said, "Sure." So we came, and we opened the door. We went in there, and the lady was always wearing a hijab. If you're family, they remove the hijab. She met us at the door. She wasn't wearing her hijab. You're family. And so we walked in there, and here's a whole pile of food, all vegan, vegetarian food, that he did that for us. And so some of these greetings, you never know where this will take you. It's amazing what will happen. But are we ready to shoot Ian here Okay, so I got to talk for another minute? So yeah, I experienced